All right. Time for session number 2. We're going to go through some tests, basketball tests, physical tests for girls and boys under 16 and 18. And a little bit background for the tests. When Raido asked me to design these tests, one of the things was that normally it has been taking for too long. It takes too long time to make the tests. And there's a little bit, it's not the easiest test maybe in the world. So I had 2 hours per group about a week ago. So I wanted to have tests that are somewhat simple and easy to do for the whole team. If you have 20 players in a group, so we split them in basically 4 groups. And I had one of the groups. I believe all of you have the papers right now where you can see the, my glasses, it's so small print I can't see. Yes. Markus Ilver, okay. Anybody want to know his test results? Well, I'm not going to give them out. But the whole point, it says first flexibility, mobility. We have overhead squat, Romanian deadlift and deadlift, and active hamstring. That one and core X plank, which is on the right side, which says core and balance, and draken. I don't know if it's a Swedish word. Those were basically, and then the Olympic lifting, those were on my station. So I'm the one responsible for those. And then we had other coaches, we had split them so that we had one coach checking out the squat, bench press, and pull-ups. This is basic strength. And then we had one group which was power, counter movement jump, broad jump, and then the last one was agility and speed, which we did with photo cells. Because the problem when you take time, if you make speed tests with a regular timer, there's too much things that can go wrong. Because as you can see, it takes 3 seconds, okay? You're 1/10 of a second late, you get false results. Or the next time you do it with this hand thing, timer, you make a mistake there, and the complete result can be something else completely what the reality is. So always when you do the agility testing or speed testing, quickness testing, it's supposed to be done with photo cells, because they basically never lie. Yeah, sometimes you can throw your hand somewhere a little bit in front so that it counts wrong or like different, but it's still, it has to be good information we get from the test. So there are the physical tests. So we get strength, basic strength, upper body. We have one movement that is towards body, which is pull-ups. Then we have, it says bench press here. We actually did push-ups with this lifting block so that you go lower. And as you're going to see from the results, there were many people who couldn't even do those, or players. And power, we had counter movement jump, which is basically you put your hand up against the wall here, you jump up, hit it as high as you can, and then you count the difference, and that's basically a vertical jump. Extremely simple and effective tests with basically, I mean, yeah, somebody who is not a good jumper is not going to jump high in that, and then all the guys who are explosive and good jumpers, they are all going to put good scores on that one. So it's a very simple and easy test and gives good data. And broad jump was in a sandbox. It's the same thing that when you come in here, what is it, hyppemä. And you just go once as far as you can. And we did it in a sandbox because I don't like players landing hard on a hard surface. Yeah, Olympic lifting, which is on the right. I just wanted to see how the players, if they have any idea in the first place how to do the lifts. Some start the weight here. So I wanted to see if they have even an idea what to do with it. Or like I said before, they land like this and then they... So it was just a little test for myself to see where we are at with those tests, or those movements. Yeah, then in the beginning we have the typical just height, weight, wingspan. If somebody is interested, Ilves wingspan is 207. That number I can give you. Yeah, so those are the physical tests. So not the most advanced tests in the world. I don't think we need to go to, like, you can test anything in the world if you want to. You can test your little finger, how many times can you go? Okay, 2 fingers. I mean, you can find whatever, it doesn't give any good data, it's useless. And the reason why I did the mobility tests with the stick, it was the same stuff we did before, because it's very practical. So if they get better at it, they are at the same time going to get better at Olympic lifts and all the good lifting positions. If they're too tight in their hamstrings, they're going to be here. You need to get there, so you can come up. So everything has a point. Those are physical tests. Then comes the interesting part. Self-evaluation form. Anybody know what it is? No? This whole thing started as I was back home, and then I was thinking, like, okay, if I was let's say I was a scout for some EuroLeague team or NBA team or whatever team, and somebody called me, hey, listen, I want to have a physical scouting of this, not his skills and all that stuff, but how he moves. Do I have good enough eye to see all that stuff when I watch the game? Just follow one player all the time and see how he moves. All kinds of moves, how he close-outs moves, everything, and offense and defense. And that's where we get very sport-specific, very basketball-specific. And then I changed a couple of things in it, and you give scores from 1 to 5. You have defense first here, you have offense there, and then you have the physical stuff here. Now sure, you're going to give this to players to fill out themselves. Yeah, they can put, yeah, I'm 5, I'm awesome and everything, like, yeah, okay, first thing we're going to do is send you to a psychologist, like, And the good players, now I haven't analyzed the other data that much, I've gone through it, but I've been checking out the under 18 boys, which is my team. Well, there are no boys anymore, but their results. And there's interesting stuff in it, because you can see how some guys, very good in a lot of stuff, and then all of a sudden there's maybe 2 things that he really sucks. Okay, so what are we going to practice then? Exactly those 2 things. So, to make it a little bit more interesting, how many of you are former players? Hand up. 1, 2, yeah? That's it? Okay. Well, that didn't go too well. Anyways, but my plan was to print out, or I mean share out this self-evaluation form to each one of you, and you would fill it right now, of yourself. When you played at your best level, not some 3rd division or 5th division where, oh, I'm the king, like, against good competition. And honest, now this is much easier for grown-ups, because we know how it, especially, oh, I wanted to be better in this and that. The funny thing is I did this with Reinar, Mr. Hallik here, a couple of days ago, just to check out, okay, fine, when we played, how would I have scored? How would he have scored? And it's extremely interesting because it comes back exactly how we were as players. Some stuff is really good, some stuff is really bad. Yeah, then you're like, yeah, well, I should have trained more of that and that stuff. Okay, why didn't I train it? Now you are coaches, when you get this, if you get this from the players, I mean, you have concrete stuff to give them to get better individually. And then you compare this to the physical stuff. Okay, he's bad in sliding, okay, he's bad in jumping, whatever, okay. Well, we know, okay, we need to work on legs. Upper body strength is maybe 5, he's a world champion in bench press, we're not gonna practice bench press. So the dots kind of connect. But anyways, even if you're not a former player or whatever, if you don't wanna, it's not a must, but it's very interesting if you feel this out. We'll take just a couple minutes and see what happens. Just pass it on that. Otherwise, just have it as a memory or whatever. Yes, so then in the end, how it looks like, I get the paper back, I get the dots, I'm looking what is 5, what is 1, what is 2, what is good, what is bad. Same thing on the other side. And then we have the results for the physical tests. And then you just put 2 and 2 together and the result is 5. Awesome. So I was just thinking, just a couple examples here, what a few players have been. What the hell did I do? Am I completely? Where? Oh. Well, there we go. So, yeah, so like I said here, just a couple example. We have a player who, let's say on offense, attacking from the 3-point line, so-so. Ball handling, so-so. Ability to create own shot off the dribble. Everything else is really good, or pretty good. So okay, we put this guy doing ball handling stuff and this. If it's 5-10 minutes every day, that's it. But we know the weaknesses. So we know what to work on. We don't need to guess. Okay, maybe it's going to get better if we rebound or whatever, or do whatever. So it gives various exact data. We have another guy, very good in many stuff, many things. 2 things he's really bad at, he thinks himself. Setting screens and taking charges. Okay, so what's in common with the 2 of those movements? Everything comes to the chest. So we're just going to give him a pad or whatever, then we're going to learn him to take contact through the chest to contact. So these are just examples what comes out of these results. So you know exactly what to work on. And then when there's, for example, here we got one where he doesn't think he's a very good defender in any kind of way, basically. And yeah, so okay, then we pull out the heavy bands we were working before. Okay, you get to do some extra work against resistance, cone drills, all that stuff. We know exactly what we want to work on with those players. No guesswork. So it's very practical stuff here. Okay, a little bit about the physical tests and the results. I'm not going to go through all the stuff there, and in reality, I was present at 25% of those stations, so I don't know exactly how it looked in each station. In perfect world, I would be doing each and every player, each and every station, so I know exactly how it looks. Unfortunately, it's not a perfect world every time. So, but we talk about let's go through these 3 tests. So here we got the results for overhead squat, active hamstring, and core. For boys, 16-18, girls, 16-18. You can see quite glaring differences there in age groups and girls and boys. But so that you know what we are talking about, let's go through the tests, how we did it. Oh yeah, do we have the, let's take the sticks first. Okay, back to the stick business. So, for example, overhead squat, we did this before. Get the weight there, and you go slowly down, all the way there. Holding a good back, the weight is in the middle, it's not somewhere there, it's not too much in the back. I got good angles, I'm not looking like this. Yes, so that's pretty good. Leaning a little bit too much forwards, but it's still okay. You can come up there. We're way too back here. Now what happens if this is a real weight? You need to keep it in the middle. Keep your hands. Remember, do this always when you do the test. One hand up, one hand on the side, and then there. Here, come up. So do first here. Yeah, this one up, yeah, and then this one straight on the side. Yeah, somewhere. Yeah. And there we go. Then from there, straight arms. I'll go down here. Yes. So basically we would have had 1 minus here and 1 plus here. The weight is in the middle, back is okay. We have enough angles. You're not going to see many guys going here, down here, and coming up from there with straight backs. It's always going to be like this. And that's a minus. If they came around here with good techniques, I gave them a plus anyway. It was good enough. So that was the overhead squat. Then active hamstring, you can lie there. It's just basically right here, destroy your glasses and come up here as high as you can. Yes, about perfect is in the middle, right there. Now, when you do this test, if you look at me, unless you're trained professional, so you might not know what the difference is. If I'm here, that's stiff, right? And what's the difference here? Huh? No, it's not, it's the same. It's lower back. So if I round my lower back, I'm here. If I hyperextend it, I'm there. So I told everybody to keep their hands on their lower back so that the hips are still on the ground. There, slowly up, and that's it. You keep your hips on the heels here, I'm here. Oh, you're flexible. No, I'm not, I'm just cheating. So that was the hamstring stretch. Very important in all the lifting and all that stuff. A good angles when we play defense so that we're not Yes. And then we have core, which we did so that we did diagonal plank here, 30 seconds, 30 seconds there, go up 30 seconds there, and 30 there. And it's not supposed to look like, you know. So if you keep it good, you're fine. So the hip square. Okay, let's see what happens. So diagonally lift up, exactly. No need to go that high either, but that's good, yeah. So what I'm looking here, I hold it like 30 seconds in theory. When I'm looking here, so that the hips don't go way too much in this direction. Supposed to be here. Yes. All right, then switch. Okay, that's good, and then side. Yeah, and here I'm looking so that the toe is not coming up here, and the hip opening up. You want to have your toe straight pretty much. Not too much hyperextension and staying there, yeah? All right, that's on the other side. Yeah, okay, that's good. All right. Take some coffee, stretch. So, okay, now we know the tests. Boys under 16, overhead squat, 52% is minus, so half of them can't do it. Active hamstring, 75% of them are too tight in the hamstrings. 62% is minus in the core. So 6 out of 10 can't keep those positions without falling over. Now they're basically 16 years old, 15, 14, 15, so on. Same thing with girls, 16, overhead squat, 74% is okay. Not so surprising that girls are flexible, you know, in that age. Overhead, active hamstring, half and half. So even they are a little stiff there. But especially important is the core. 84% is a minus. I think there was 2 who could hold it. Everybody else. So okay, in the 16, where do we put focus in these things, especially in the core? Sure, you can be a good basketball player with tight hamstrings, but if we're going to go to the gym and start doing more advanced lifting and all that kind of stuff, it's not going to help. Let's put it that way. Okay, then we have boys under 18. Overhead squat, 75% is okay. Already much better than 16 boys. Active hamstring, little better, not much. Core, 94% is okay. Huge difference in just 1 or 2 years in their bodies, how they get stronger. A little bit interesting to see, actually. Then we have girls, 18. 69% is okay overhead squat. Active hamstring, all of a sudden 85% are okay. I was on that station, so I take responsibility for the results, but it's, yeah, much better. And core, 23%, like every 4th. So not that many. So, more core training for girls, basic for everyone. But especially this is kind of interesting for me, since this is now going to be my team in the future, under 18, to see that they actually have become from boys to men, if you put it that way. So That is for those results. Any questions about this? I hope it explains a little bit how the gender differences and all this stuff, and in age, how in test already from 14, 15 to 16, 17, there's a, boys and girls, there's a lot of stuff happening, especially boys, when it comes to strength training and all that, so, which is good. Yeah. Okay, so we have a little bit about the tests, about the results. Then we get to the interesting part. Practical solutions. So why do we test players in the first place? So that know that, get data to know what they are bad at, what they need to get better at. And there comes practical solutions. It's always like, yeah, it's nice to do tests. And then happens what? Nothing. Like self-evaluation, like, okay, well, that's how I am, okay. No, yes, that's how you are now. The whole thing is, then you get a program, you get tips, you get whatever you need to do, you know your weaknesses, you work on those, you go home, get better, and the result is, of course, better basketball players, happier coaches, and better basketball. But now, for example, this thing, practical solutions, this is basically about what we did, the show number 1 here, the power and agility stuff. All that stuff is practical solutions that everybody can do home, either with a team or individually. That depends on what level you want to take this. You can. I made a program this summer for Christian Kitzing, and I met him twice before. Once we trained with Gerd Kanter, and then just once I wanted to see a little bit how he's in the gym. He got a program for I think it was 6 pages. Now I have no clue how he has been playing before, but I guess he's playing pretty okay now. So, but that was like a practical solution, okay? A little bit, you got a program. I'm not, it takes a little bit time to write 6-page programs for each and every player. That is not realistic normally. So just pick easy stuff. And that's where the self-evaluation form comes so handy, because you see exactly what you need to do. Whether it's defense, if it's physicality training, you can we have the pad there for contacts, kickboxing, whatever, bang. Just take that one. Do all kinds of stuff, just contact. And that's it. Then a lot of the players, in both girls and boys, they didn't like taking charges. It's the number 1 thing on defense. They don't want to get in place, poof, take the contact. Now, I don't think it's because they are too slow. I mean, looking at how they played yesterday, it was pretty good, aggressive, good defense. So get there. Why are they not standing there and taking the contact? You got to practice that. So how do you practice it? Next summer I'm gonna go with them to the gymnastics place where you do this vault. I'm gonna ask them to stand on the side. So if this is full of these pads where you land, and you can land in your head or whatever. I'm gonna tell them to stand on the side with a pad. I'm standing here. So what is the person learning? Taking the hit, and there's no injury risk or anything. And he's falling there. Fine, let him fall there. Then you maybe take some kind of pad or whatever if it's so dangerous to, fall on the floor. So, but you always find some kind of ways to practice these individual things. It doesn't matter if it's girls or boys or anything. The data is in the black and white on the sheets. So yeah. Well, that is, yeah. Doesn't matter if you do simple tests or very hard, complicated tests. You get the results, But if nothing happens here, this is all completely useless. Don't test at all. If we test, we got to give something back. Feedback and practical solutions. Then if they don't do it at home, when we're going to test again in June, well, I mean, nobody's holding any player in a, dog leash, It's everybody's own responsibility. If you want to become something, you do the work. You educate yourself, you get better, you talk to people, whatever is needed. Then you go home and you work at it. Not just drink olu in a sauna or whatever. Yeah. So that's about it. Should we go through more in detail exactly how we did all the physical tests, how they are done? You want to do it? I know you don't. Yeah, I'm gonna jump up. We'll go just quickly through this. Yeah. So if you go strength first, well, the plan was first plan was to do basically a max squat before I understood that they can't even go to a squat with a bar. So it was basically a functionality test. Can they go here, stay in good angle, and come back? So that was it. You can't, well, I'm all the time forgetting that I'm getting old. Yes, bench press was push-ups. We put 2 blocks on the sides, about this height. You need to go, same thing, foot up there, and you go down all the way. And come up. And that was max, how many you can do. And then we have pull-ups, just basic leuaveto. Yeah. Okay. Then power, important test. You jump up from here, you take 4 here, and poof, go as high as you can. And then there was the broad jump, like I said before, in a sandbox. And then we have lane agility, for agility tests that we did with the photo cells. So you basically have the square, the inside square, what do you call it? And you start from, you know how it's now, lane agility, you don't, yeah. Just show it like once, that's how. Yeah, so you start from there, you sprint, you have cones in all of these angles, yeah? Then you slide, then you backpedal, and then you slide. And then you come back. So I said we have cones always here, yeah, and then you backpedal back home. And then you get a beep, and then you get a time, and that's it. And you go it as fast as you can. And then the other one is 20-meter sprint, so that you just start from the baseline, you measure 20 meters, and just run it as fast as you can. And that's it. So those are the speed tests. Exactly the same that they use in the NBA. Yeah, plank combo we went through. Then it's Draken, the balance test basically, where I want to see as well. It's one more test where you can see how you hold your hamstrings and hips. So you basically go down, you get a stick, you go there, and you come up, and you hold it there. I just let them do a couple of times, because what I was looking for was if they are like this. And most of them were. So being able to hold straight back, or hyperextended, go back here, so you really get a good feel in the hamstrings, glutes, all that. So you see how your hips and this stuff works. Yeah, and then Olympic lifting, just hang snatch. Hang snatch means that it's basically from the knees, but we're not going all the way down. Just from there, I just wanted to see how they lift it up. do it just once. So I wanted to see that when they start coming up here, yeah, just do it a couple times. Keep your hands like, yeah. You go from there, and you go. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so what I'm looking at basically is the start position here, that it's good. You can't be here, because you're not lifting with this. You're lifting here, lifting with the back side. And when you come here, then you poof, quickly explode there. But otherwise, it's lifting with the back side, not with the front side. So first start there, and then that when they come up, the bar comes close to the body. A lot of times it's like, oh, not gonna lift many kilos like this. So you come from there, get it here. The real snatch, actually, the contact point is in the hips here. Now that's hard to teach. So whatever, if they lift it here, fine, as long as it comes close. And catch it there in a good position. Yeah, and then go quick. Go from there. Yeah. This was actually interesting because the guys who were coming from Tartu, I guess they have some Olympic lifting trainer because they had good techniques in this. You could see that they had been doing this stuff. Yeah, so those were basically the tests that we did. So, any questions? I don't know how these tests actually were done before, or like, but this was completely my idea. So if it wasn't it was bad, well, then I'll take the responsibility. If it was good, so I hope we have data that we can start working on in the future. Yeah? Yeah? All right, thank you.